everyone, to the latest edition of the Get Up and Go Show. This is Anne Marie of the Art of Healing. I'm introducing you today to a gentleman that I met last year, that a mutual friend introduced us to each other. His name is Alan Pratt. He is a metaphysical healer, energy healer, amazing human being with an incredible story and a life that is completely given over to spirit. And it is my great honor, without further ado, to introduce to you Mr. Alan Pratt. Welcome, Alan, to the Get Up and Go Show.
Thank you, Anne Marie. It's lovely to be here. I'm ready to get up and go with you.
Oh, awesome. Well, you are one of these people that always has this beautiful energy. And we met, I think, for the first time last year.
Yes,
right?
For last summer's concert in New York.
That's correct. And you were so gracious to ask me to participate. And it was one of the most beautiful things that I've ever done. But before we start talking about that, please introduce yourself to the people who are watching.
It's lovely to meet all of you today. My name is Alan Pratt. I am a healer and psychic. I tour the United States, mostly the East Coast, in the last 5 years. I'm based in Miami and New York. I produce sound healing concerts with ensembles of sound, energy, and movement healers. And this is how Anne Marie and I met. And I said last summer, but it was this past January was the concert that we did together. Was January 4th. And I am an advocate of mind, body, spirit, well-being, and high vitality and high vibe living. I am wildly healthy at the very young age of 60. And I love saying that I'm 60 because I'm just crazy healthy. So anything that you want to talk about joy, vitality, health, well-being, and especially during these times, I'm ready.
Well, that's the whole point of this show, and you just fed right into it. So we are spiritual beings having this 3D experience, and every now and then things will get us down. And even for the most spiritually connected beings, there are times where we're just kind of faced with feelings that we don't like to inhabit our bodies, right? So talk to us a little bit about your daily journey, your spiritual path, and how you deal with these troubles and worries that come into our field of vision, no matter how much we don't want them to.
Thank you. We are in our physical bodies. We are right here on the earth every day.
Amen.
And no matter how much we explore the spiritual realms and our own personal journey and self-discovery, no matter how much we, quote, ascend or transform or become enlightened, we are still right here in this physical body. And I trip out in many ways as a channel, as an energy healer, and I work with plant medicine, which transports us from the third dimension into other dimensions. I meditate. I've done long, deep meditation retreats. I have done long, deep fasting processes of up to 33 days. So I know how to sort of, quote, transcend this reality, this physical form to a degree. But at the end of every philosophical, theoretical, metaphysical inquiry, you know, guess where we are? And guess where we are during it is sitting here in this body. My butt's sitting on this chair. So you ask about daily practice, and also I want to speak about also my training as a healer and a psychic. I have read very little. I have studied very little. I have not learned many modalities. I have a couple of Reiki certificates. I work with hundreds and hundreds of practitioners who have studied a lot, who are well educated, my path has been more experiential, and I keep wanting to use the word organic. And so the Spirit has guided me to, you know, the Nike slogan, just do it.
Just do it.
I'm a guy, yes, I've racked up a lot of numbers. The moment I really started channeling, I thought it's important to just work on as many people as you can, as many people who will say yes. Don't try to charge people. And I still got up to about 500 people, you know, it's 1,000 people, and then get 5,000 people, you know, and I did the festival scene on the West Coast for 5 years, you know, and it put me in a lot of different kinds of situations. So it's sort of trial by fire and learning on the job. And so I didn't really get into all of this professionally. Now, I've been around the healing scene since I was in my 20s, because my partner died of AIDS, and I survived AIDS and alcoholism and some other things. So I've learned about healing by being healed, and then by healing my addictions. I was a food binger and a sugar addict, and so healing all of my addictions in my 30s into the age of 40, and then sort of discovering this spiritual, tribal, holistic world of raw food and yoga and deep meditation and ayahuasca and healing events, and all of this was sort of new to me in my early 40s, but I was coming into it from a new path of I would say the first things that changed my life was that I became a raw foodist and started doing a lot of yoga. I was always somebody who exercised and went to the gym a lot, but I was walking both sides of the line. I was being alcoholic and food binging and sugar binging and looking fabulous. You know, guys, I was in the gay muscle boy scene and the nightclub scene in New York. So I had a sort of false identity as a healthy person. I wasn't really, but I had part of it. And then I got all the rest of this in my early 40s. And then I became a professional healer at 49. So then Spirit didn't guide me to do more than get those Reiki certificates, because what happened was my hands started moving by themselves. And then my voice started moving by itself. And I thought, well, I should pay attention to this and let it guide me. And so all throughout the last 10 or 11 years of being on the professional path as a healer and psychic, I have not been guided to read books or to study modalities or to attend weekends with other teachers, although I applaud everybody who does all of that. As I say this, please know that I don't think there's a way. I'm just saying how I've been guided is to always eat very healthy and regularly engage in cleansing practices and exercise almost every single day and meditate pretty much every day. It's like, because of the level of work that I'm doing and the amount of disease and entity removal, because I do a combination of working with diseases, possession, and activating light workers. I'm sort of really, I'm going to say this, I'm proficient or good at or been gifted. I think that's the best way. The world of spirit, gave me all of these gifts. And I was told by psychics many years before all of this started. They said, well, when this happens to you, you're going to have it. You're going to have the psychic thing, the healing thing. You know, it's like, oh, okay. You know, and then it all came to me. So I've been gifted these things, and I contend with a lot of darkness, heaviness, disease. A lot of it tries to get in my body. And so I feel a bit of a country bumpkin, like I'm not well educated as a light worker, but boy, I done walk the walk. And so my daily practice, because you asked, and because I do want to say this is how I get my vitality and my joy moment to moment, is I'm super healthy in the really old-fashioned, simple ways of I don't put garbage in my body, haven't had a drop of alcohol in 14 years, I haven't had a cup of coffee in 30 years, and all the fasting, cleansing, and the exercise and all of that, I think makes me not only a clean channel for spirit to work through, but a relatively content person in a somewhat crazy world. that's really challenging right now. And so I say this for everybody right now, because you developed this, I want to say TV show, Get Up and Go, to help people in a time when we're to a degree, we're being restricted, and so I make sure I'm getting out in the sunshine every day, and I'm doing a lot of my exercises outdoors. And this is what I really felt like sharing the moment you asked the question, was that when I take my walks, I feel like I'm almost like Snow White or somebody. I'm really, and I'm gay, so it's easy to take this on. I'm like, oh my gosh, you're so pretty, to the flowers and the trees. And I grew up in the theater. So, and I don't care if people see me from their homes or walking down the sidewalk, and I cross the street if I see people, because I'm observing social distancing to a really, I'm honoring that. So I take these walks out in the neighborhoods. I'm in this historic neighborhood in St. Pete, Florida right now. It's called Kenwood. It's full of artists, and it's lots of rainbow flags on every so many houses. So I'm walking around. I feel like Dorothy and the Wizard of Oz, something like that. So I get into the sunshine and the trees and connecting with nature. And if I hear a bird sing, oh, you're so beautiful. And I encourage people to, I want to say, kind of fake it till you make it a little bit, like play acting until it feels like you. Because I don't always feel this way, Anne-Marie. I also have depression, and I don't always want to get up and go. And I don't have a partner, and I don't have any kids, and I'm heartbroken. Mm-hmm. So I have some heartbreak to deal with. So on a daily basis, I get up and go by doing my yoga and making. Now, do you want to talk about tea?
We're going to talk about, what did you say?
Tea and drinks.
Yes, go right ahead.
Is this part of what you talk to people about?
Yes.
Because
our favorite beverage.
I want to talk about my favorite beverage. First of all, right now I'm hydrating with water because I've already had a lot of my morning beverages. I get so hydrated in the morning. And this is important to talk about because most people are not, and I actually need to take a drink right now. Most people are not getting hydrated enough, especially at the beginning of the day. I don't drink coffee because coffee is actually dehydrating in the long run. It is acidic, and it is not actually a real good way to hydrate the body. I start the day with my supplements and a big glass of water, and then I have 3 cups of tea that I have in a Pyrex measuring cup, a 2-cup, and I fill it right to the top. So I'm actually having 6 cups of tea after my supplements and water. So this 6 cups, this was because at the beginning of the pandemic, one of the first recommendations that was made was drink a lot of warm liquids regularly throughout the day, just to keep washing down anything that might be coming into the body. And I took it on, and I began loving it. And so what I'm doing is peppermint tea, because peppermint is great for the digestion and probably several other things. And then I put a splash of lemon in it and cayenne pepper.
Oh, very good.
Yes. So this is actually the master cleanse minus the sweetener. I'm not putting either the honey, agave, maple syrup, anything like that. Because I get that in my healthy sweets later in the day, so, and I'm just starting the day. So, and I'm drinking so much of this. So it's this combination of peppermint, cayenne, and lemon. And I'm getting 6 cups of it. And something about the warmth of it makes it easy to just down it. So much of it. So I'm like I notice I'm actually timing it. I'm seeing that I'm getting this 6 cups of tea in my body in less than an hour. Then I move on to the green juice, which I make green juice for like a couple days at a time. And I'm just doing, right now I'm keeping it really simple, celery and cucumber. And celery juice is a craze now. And if you haven't heard this, to the folks who are watching and joining us today, it's so easy to juice a head of celery. Celery, Cucumbers are easy. And so I have juice done for a couple of days. I have my green juice and then coconut water and plant-based protein powder. And I get a vanilla flavored one. And it's just so easy. A lot of people, if you don't feel like making a smoothie, and I love making smoothies, this is like such a simple version of, it's not quite a smoothie, it's just coconut water and the plant-based protein powder, either chocolate flavored or vanilla or mocha for you coffee drinkers who want to switch to something that's more hydrating and more nourishing. Wow. And more alkalizing rather than acidic. So I get all of this in me, and then, and I hope it's cool to talk about, I forget what this is called, your assimilation and release cycles for your digestion, assimilation, digestion, and release. We should be having bowel movements in the morning, folks, like several. And I don't know that most folks I know aren't. They're lucky if they have one regularly in the morning, and they need the coffee. They think the coffee's what does it. So no, we just need to get hydrated. That's all.
You
and
know, the one thing that I changed in my life that made a world of difference is that I began taking a hemp oil supplement every morning. And I did it about a year and almost 2 years ago. And for the first time in my life, regular bowel movements, clarity of mind.
Yes.
Ridiculous. I was like the poster child for space cadets. Okay. That was
right.
Me. And when I started to take this hemp supplement, all of a sudden, and I've lost 30 pounds over the course of a year and a half. And I attribute it to taking this hemp oil supplement.
That is excellent. Yeah. So however you get your bowels to move, that works. Getting super hydrated works. And I think most people are not aware that they're not releasing their bowels enough. And the association with our emotional state and our clarity of mind, which you just acknowledged, the shift. You went from being totally fuzzy in the head to being super clear because you're literally getting the out. Get it out. So since I'm going back to the theme of this show, you know, this is get up and go. And so I'm talking about how I literally get up and go each day. and literally I want to do that before I take a power walk out there. Otherwise, in that hour of my power walk, I'm going to be going, I need to release. Mm-hmm. So I'm just going to say, this is how I stay so super healthy at 60 and I haven't even taken an aspirin in 20 years. Yeah. Anne-Marie, I don't go to doctors. I haven't taken any kind of medication. It's doing these things. So getting well hydrated and mineralized through the supplements and the green juice and the plant-based protein powder, all of that is hemp. The hemp oil has got the hemp in it. So all of these things make the bowels move, and then you're sort of naturally happy, even regardless of the state of affairs, both out there in the big world and in your own personal life. It has been a roller coaster ride as a light worker in the last decade. I would not say that abundance has not come easily. You know, it's been a very humbling path, very challenging at times. So my inner peace, my contentment, my happiness and joy, my vibrant, ebullient personality really comes from getting hydrated, getting the crap out, exercising, connecting with nature on a daily basis. That's it. That's my daily practice.
Oh, that is just so beautiful, Alan. One of the things that I spoke about you in the little intro that I made is that you are somebody who really allows spirit to take you wherever it wants you to go. And I admire that in people. So talk to us a little bit about the upsides and the downsides of, you know, and I don't want to say this in a negative way, but being unencumbered, because you can, you know, when you have a lot of responsibilities, when you have mortgages to pay, when you have daily grind things, that comes up with challenges, as when you don't have a mortgage to pay, where you don't have these kind of things that keep you anchored. Talk to us a little bit about your life in that sense.
I honor the path that all light workers walk.
Mm-hmm.
What I want to distinguish is that there is something that is called the path of initiation.
Mm.
And there is a distinction walking the path. And it can be done whether you are saddled with a permanent home and a family and a mortgage and a day job, even. You can still fully walk your path.
Mm-hmm.
And that may require some things like making some arrangements to step away from all of that and have people support you in doing that.
Yeah.
Now, my particular path, it's so clear to me that Spirit designed this. Yeah. I could say that it's because I was gay and grew up in the 70s, 80s, that I kind of missed the boat on having children. But there are many men my age who did not miss the boat and have children, who are gay, you know, and I could come up with reasons to why it has not worked out for me to have a primary relationship in the past 10 years. It seems as soon as I truly committed to walking this path, I've had bromances. I have these spiritual bromances that don't quite become full-on partnerships. And so I see all of this, that Spirit wanted me to live out of my car and to have very few belongings, and to go wherever they wanted me to go over and over and over for the last 10 or 11 years. There is also a factor about this that I recognize now that I have railed against over and over, and that is that I have not had enough stability or abundance. And so I hesitate to admit this in interviews because it might have people question, well, are you not good at what you do? But
That's
it's
not fair. That's not a fair.
Here's what I observe in retrospect is how it's gone and the patterns. And so what I see is that I will have a degree of success in a location or a particular setup, and then it kind of goes bankrupt, but it really kind of shouldn't. And so I'm going, and then it happens again and again and again. And what happens each time is that I reinvent myself and or look at, okay, what am I supposed to do now? And that thing always turns out to be the next level, the next plateau, the next evolution of my career as a healer. And the best example that I can give you, because it's so obvious, is that I'm going to give you 2 in a row. I was in California doing my Love Lounge events on a weekly basis, and they were sort of a hit in Berkeley, the San Francisco Bay Area, and then they just kind of petered into not much. And it shouldn't have gone that way because everybody loved them. And then Spirit said, drop it, go to Florida, go back to Florida. Your business is in Florida. And magically, my 2 partners had things occur in their lives that they had to let go of promoting the events. And I was like, whoa, there go my partners. There goes the audience. And they said, there you go to Florida. And I was like, oh, y'all made that happen. So I get to Florida. They said, we're going to put you on TV. And I said something, I won't say exactly what I said, but I'll say a version of it, which is like, oh yeah, really? That's not what I said. I said, y'all say a lot of stuff. Some of it comes true, some doesn't. And I think a lot of light workers, when I share that, they nod their heads. That we all have this experience of like Spirit tells us, you're about to have this happen. You're going to have this miracle. You're going to blah, blah, blah. And then they said, and so within 6 months, I was on Fox News Miami. I suddenly had a cancer miracle It hooked me up with the news, blah, blah, blah. I'm on the news. Suddenly I had like 100 new clients over the space of the next year. This was 2015, 2016. I was nobody in Miami. I was new in the scene, the healing tribal scene in Miami. And suddenly I was on the news, and suddenly I moved from a shack in Little Haiti in the middle of Miami into a studio in South Beach. You know, and so I'm Alan the South Beach healer. I've got clients. I can hardly keep up with it. I need a secretary, but I handle it all myself. But I notice over the course of the year, little by little, it all peters out. Even though I'm doing great work, I have a couple more miracles even, but it's like nobody refers more clients. Little by little, it all just, but I then start touring up and down the East Coast. That's what they want me to do. I start touring and my whole life changes. It all, had they kept the dynamic, had I kept safe and secure, had the game, you know, so you see, a spirit keeps kicking me in the butt and going, they just keep taking things away. And so I have to accept that the game has gone that way to keep making me stronger and keep making me play bigger and to challenge me. Who am I? Who am I in this industry? And so this is how you and I met, is because it kind of went bankrupt in Miami, little bit by little bit. I'm sure if I tried real hard, I could stay and make it work right there. But I could feel no hit the road. And so this is why I ended up with you and an ensemble of 30 other artists on January 4th with a sold out house of 200 plus participants for a sound healing concert. I did not have that happening a few years ago. I didn't have that kind of following in New York. I was sort of forced to make it happen. This is the path of initiation. This is walking the path. And so I feel blessed to have this sort of nomadic, monastic, road trippy lifestyle. And I really, and I believe me, I have my days where I close the doors and the windows. Let it rip.
I think that's perfectly natural and normal. Perfectly natural and normal. And I tell you, I can identify with some of the things that you've said, even though I am one of those light workers that has the mortgage and the daytime job and the children and the mother and the pets and the house and the grass and the, but I identify with it because I think once you get to a certain level of vibration, a lot of things fall by the wayside. And unfortunately, some of that is the intimate relationships, and a lot of us come to the path that we're on because of the birthing pangs of the loss of those intimate relationships that our egos manufactured for us at certain points in our journey. So I'm with you, Alan. I understand that. And to a certain extent, I've sought counsel for that. And what I've been told is that initially it's because of the separation from source, that we're reaching out for something to fill that void that only our reconnection with source can fill. And I kind of want to go, yeah, but that sucks. Yeah, that sucks. But I have to say, for me personally, when I get into my bed at night, I've got my doggies, and I say, and I count my blessings, and I go to sleep with no longing for anything, but with a grateful heart for everything. So that is how I manage that part of my life. Not to say it wouldn't be welcome, and I would love that to happen. And I turn any sadness, and I got this from a healing that I had taken the other day. It was actually from Michael, Archangel Michael, that told me the sadness and the feelings that you feel is a way for you to manifest it, but you just don't know how. So instead of harping on the loss, take those feelings and invite what you want into your life. And I just went, damn. And so every time that I feel that sadness, I recognize it and I say, okay, my beloved, I welcome you into my world. Come to me. I am waiting for you. And I wait with a happy heart. So I'm flipping that around, Alan, and I hope that is something that resonates with you. And I'm getting very emotional. Woo, mama. I'm getting very emotional. I love you. Woo.
I love you, Anne-Marie.
Oh, I love you dearly. Oh, my dear.
I just heard a song. Our day will come. Something, and we'll have everything. Something like that. Now, I don't even hardly know that song. And that's like from the 70s or something. They do that.
Yes,
so
they
I
do.
think they do want me to
They
say
do.
this. I could honor what you said about we're searching for something, you know, and that can't really be filled. It's a connection with pure source. You know, at the same time, we started this conversation talking about being here on the earth plane in the 3D.
Yeah.
And so here's my take on it. Best buddy. Having a best buddy is an awesome thing. That kind of partnership.
Yeah.
Because it is a rocky road and we get lonely. And I think it's awesome to have your doggies. That's beautiful. I totally get that. I stay with so many people on the road, and I get to stay with so many people who have their beloved dogs and cats. So I sometimes sleep with some of my friends' dogs and cats and cuddle with them. So I totally get it. At the same time, I have counseled so many light workers as we do this same kind of work. We're healers and life coaches and psychics because it all works together in the work that we do. And I just talk to other light workers in my age bracket, and a lot of us, I think, are just lovely people, and we are wondering where's my mate, and for those of us who are poly and open to multiple partnerships and different kinds of partnerships at the same time, where's my buddies or my mates? Where's the home team? You know, if it's one or two or three of us or four of us, whatever. Because right now I'm still solo on this journey, and I know a lot of folks like me, and we're in this question about, like, where's my buddy, my best bud, my travel partner. You know, I talked about the walk in the path, and so again, I'm hearing that song, Our Day Will Come. I'm with you. I'm so open, and I welcome love and intimacy and partnership.
So, Alan, you know what song popped into my head when you were talking about your walk?
What?
I don't know the words exactly, but I'll sing it for you, and you know where it's from. You know the little song? The song at the end of the little monkey.
So are they getting them ready in the Emerald City?
Yeah.
To parade around and
that cute little.
Okay, that's where I feel I am on my journey now. I feel like I've gotten to the Emerald City, and they're shining up my toenails and they're getting my, you know, I don't really have any hair to do, but you know, they're shining me up and putting a bow on. It's time to meet the court and all of that. I sing that one too, and I don't know that I know the words.
Step into the something step or something. I don't know. That's what's coming to my head. But
it's a Wizard of Oz Emerald City thing.
Wizard of Oz sound. Yeah.
Yes. Love it. I love it.
Oh my gosh, this is the perfect time to just thank you from the deepest depths of my heart. I love you, Alan. I think you are an extraordinary light in this world, and I am eternally blessed to have you in my life. So again, thank you for your precious time. my beautiful brother in this journey.
Thank you, Anne-Marie. Thank you for including me in this group of angels. They said all of these people are angels that Anne-Marie is interviewing, and I look forward to our next concert in New York, which is scheduled for October 3rd. We'll see, but it's looking like it could be for like 800 people. That's the size of the church that we've got, so we'll see how it all rolls. But I look for, because you have a beautiful voice.
Thank you.
Yeah, and that's angelic presence in the healing events. So I look forward to seeing you in New York. Much love.
My love. Listen, where can people find you if they want to find you?
AlanPratt.net, AlanPratt.net. I'm also Alan Pratt on Facebook. I'm friends with Anne-Marie. And if you just search Alan Pratt, I'm the first one that comes up with that particular spelling.
Okay. Well, again, thank you to you, Alan. Thank you to all the viewers out there in YouTube land that resonate with this loving energy. I thank you so much for your time. Please like, share, and subscribe. This is Anne-Marie of the Art of Healing, and I hope you have found motivation to get up and go. Blessings to all.
Blessings, blessings.